Party is the party of racism, is the party of white supremacy, is the party of hate. This is wrong, and it needs to stop.
Everybody wants to go back and drag that piece of history up, but they don't want to go back and deal with what their ancestors did to the indigenous people and to black people in this country. You got to go. And you got billionaires talking about going to space and Jeff Bezos, go, never come back. I hope you get lost. This man has lost his mind.
Boom! Come on, girlfriend. What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show, the home of Epic Conversations. And I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers. It's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And being part of that collaboration last year, we'll give you the numbers for this year soon, but last year over 100,000 dads and fathers around the world, and Lala did it again. She got animated when she saw Jill say go, and this time Lala said go. You heard her mouth, she saw her mouth again, go. I saw that, Lala, I saw that. So as always, we want to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, a solution for someone's problem. And we're broadcasting live on the 26th of November. Yeah, that thing called Christmas is coming around the corner, family. And in the United States, they're still on their Thanksgiving weekend. But we've got Jill and we've got Lala here. Aisha has a power outage going on, so I don't know if we're going to have her or not. But at least we got two of the three musketeers here. I don't know if you don't want to call them musketeers. Musketeers is okay?
I'm cool with that.
All right, cool. Jill, you got to unmute yourself.
Hi.
That's better.
Ooh.
Well, that's not a precursor for the rest of the conversation.
I know, right?
It's not that I'm going to say this respectfully. I hope Jill doesn't swap me in the head visually on the screen. That was one of the few times Jill was filtered. So,
rare.
Yes. How was Thanksgiving, family?
I had a ball. I cooked for my family. We had a beautiful meal and just great conversations. My favorite part of the holidays is when we get to hear the stories from our elders. It's nothing like sitting around the table and hearing the history of your family and hearing the stories that even as you grow older, they remember some that they didn't share. So I'm feeling full of blessings right now.
Nice. You know, it's interesting you mentioned about the elders part. I'm doing all I can, especially with older relatives, to hear their stories. And actually, I'm just now adopted an 81-year-old gentleman as a mentor.
Oh, nice.
Don't tape the stories. Tape the stories.
Yeah.
Well, no. Well, it's interesting because he runs a company that mentors CEOs and entrepreneurs.
Oh, wow.
And he started the company when he was 67.
Whoa.
Like, he has a long business history. And I met him a few months ago virtually, and I got some time with him. I said, look, could I just get half an hour of your time each month? And he said, sure. And he asked me some serious questions about myself to really help me grow. But he's amazing. And, you know, I'm getting as many stories as I can from my parents. I don't think maybe I've shared it in the past that I found out a few years ago that my dad, who was born in Jamaica, who graduated from an all-boys high school in Montego Bay, went to Howard University. Yes.
Right.
And one of his teachers was the late Toni Morrison.
Yes.
Phenomenal.
So when I heard that story, I'm going, okay, I just got to get as many stories as I can from all of them while they're here and document them, or maybe, I don't know, just film them or record them and put them out as a book.
True.
Yes, because this generation really has lost touch with history, like real history. your own history, your family history. It's so important for them to know and hear that from our elders.
Well, it's interesting when we always say, especially when February comes, celebrate Black History Month, but family, Black, if you're Black or you're non-Black, history's in your own family.
Right.
You've got
Yeah.
history in your own
People
family.
take this for granted. This is a great way to document
Documentation.
so much.
Documentation. Jill, how was Thanksgiving for you?
Oh, it was good. It was just another day to chill out. We don't really do Thanksgiving. I mean, we'll do a Friendsgiving every now and then with friends if they're around or if. But because my eating patterns have changed, like I mentioned earlier, it's just too hard for me to go out and eat or to make the foods, and it's a lot of work. So I don't really do it anymore. We just don't do it.
Okay. Cool. And how's the weekend been then outside after the Thanksgiving? So, okay, Lala, what did you cook? You got me curious.
Oh
now.
man, we had ham, turkey, greens, mashed potatoes, yams, mac and cheese, pumpkin pie, and my mother's famous rolls. I fix something from my mother every holiday to have her here with us in spirit. And then, hubby, I don't touch mac and cheese. My husband's mac and cheese.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah,
Really?
I've never been into mac and cheese.
Yeah, either it's an American thing. I think my husband's not into it either. So
I'm not. It's just something that I've never gone into is the mac and cheese. I know a lot of people swear by it.
well, my favorite greens are mustard greens are my favorite.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
I love mustard greens with some kale or some collards, but I can't make them the way I used to. So for me, it would be steaming it, and anybody want to be sitting up here, they'd be like, "Where's the seasoning?"
That is well, it's says this is just leading into the holiday season. So family, again, I'm going to tell people subscribe to the Dr. Vibe show, especially on YouTube, and you'll find out what we're going to be doing over the holiday season. For people who don't or do not know, Christmas and New Year's fall on a Sunday this year.
Wow. Oh, that sucks. A lot of people will have to go to work on the very next day.
Maybe on the we can talk.
You guys don't have Boxing Day.
Yes, we do.
We don't have Boxing Day.
You know, it's interesting. In Quebec, they don't celebrate Boxing Day.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, they don't celebrate it, but but we have it here. No one did any Black Friday shopping.
No, I don't support Black Friday shopping.
Me either. I never have, and I never will.
Interesting that when I guess I was looking at an article on CNBC, it used to be Amazon had the most searches during Black Friday. It's now Walmart.
Ugh. And I don't shop at Walmart.
I know you don't, but
I haven't for years.
And believe it or not, Amazon is number 4. Kohl's, and there's another, and Kohl's
is overpriced.
Kohl's and another.
For what
I can't remember the other retail. Kohl's and Target were ahead of Amazon when it comes to searches.
I love me some Target.
I love Target. I can always find something at Target. Kohl's is like a crazy one, but. A lot of fast fashion stuff I'm not supporting anymore either. I want to buy really nice things with some good quality. And that's what I want to do. I can't do this anymore. We hurt so many people. I also think it's such a reflection of how many people are really miserable in America based upon their consumption, whether they're eating food or sucking up food and heat or sucking up all the, appliances they can find and everything. It's a real testament to how miserable American people are. They'll leave like their Thanksgiving dinner to wait in a line.
I do small shops and I do customized presents. Exactly. And we're not really big on presents, but I've got a couple of things I'm really excited that I'm giving to my mother-in-law and my husband as well. But you'll have to wait till after.
Well, I'm going to remember this post-Christmas. Okay, what did you give?
Hey, what did you get them?
Yeah, what did you get them? What'd you get them? So some families in the house, Cinnamon says, hey there.
Hey,
and she says she loves Target.
Yeah.
We do love Target.
We love Target. Yes. Well, it'll be interesting to see how much people buy over the holiday season with that thing called inflation still lingering. And another interesting thing I heard today, yes, gas inflation may be coming down, but diesel prices are still going up. And a lot of stuff is relied on diesel fuel, like transportation wise. So if you think prices are going to be coming down, folks, I don't think so.
They're going to get you somewhere.
They will. I've been waiting from Amazon, which is crazy. I've been waiting for a bottle of vitamins for like a week.
Oh,
girl, you better get your credit for that.
I know.
You know, if they don't come within 2 days' time, you got to call them and say, I need a credit.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I was just like, what? You know, it's just, it's all a shambles. It's all falling apart. And what can we do? This is, except not have the need. I don't have the need for things.
Yes.
I just am getting rid of that need for these things now.
Yeah.
Because they ain't going to get me in a tizzy.
Cinnamon says she's on time to yes, because last week you came in like rather late. I was watching. You were a little bit impromptu saying I'm here. I'm going, So Cinnamon, did you watch the replay, Cinnamon? I'm testing you now. Are you gonna fess up? Well, I'll let her answer.
I know.
I'll let her answer. So
she probably went to make a cup of tea or something, and she's hearing us talking about her.
Hold on a second. You're getting your tea made for you.
I am, but my tea person's a little
tea keeper
slow today. Tea keeper.
What do they call those the people in Starbucks? What do they call
my barista?
Yes.
My barista. I might have to call the German contingency in and see if they can get me some tea. Lord.
Oh gosh. Yes, Cinema.
I might get a beer.
Okay, there you go. Oh, so Cinnamon, you're saying, does that mean you didn't watch replay? You said, I remember these things, Cinnamon. You say you're going to watch the replay, so you better come back to me and tell me when the replay's happening. Well, let's get to some things that are going on. Unfortunately, in the United States, more gun violence.
America and their love of guns. It is just sickening. It makes my stomach churn. There's no reason for us to have to arm ourselves that heavy or without background checks. I want to make it clear though, I'm not anti-gun. I'm anti everything on what it takes right now for you to get one. You know, I don't think we need AKs or things of that nature. I'm against that. But these background checks, the guy who did this shooting, guys, went and got the gun within a few hours before he did it. It's ridiculous.
Right. So I've got an article up here for people who are watching live on the replay. This is an article yesterday from Forbes magazine. 611 mass shootings recorded so far in 2022. Second worst year for gun violence in almost a decade.
Yeah.
Now, I'm pretty much afraid to go anywhere. I don't like to live in fear, but I also now don't like to just be out enjoying anything because you don't know when someone has flipped out, had a bad day, or just don't like the way you look. I mean, these are common places.
I just encourage all my friends to try to move out of America as soon as you can. I'm not even joking anymore. Like there's 611 shootings, like leave. There are things called nomad visas. Move, work, get a job that's remote. You don't have to live here. Leave. They don't care about people here.
So Jill, then two-part question for you, and also going to give it to Lala. And before we go there, Cinnamon goes, test on a Saturday? Yes, test on a Saturday. And greetings to Share Night. Good night, all. I loved when we had Target in Canada. I got some great deals when items went on clearance.
Oh, you don't have Target anymore?
No, they left. They left.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's because you all do not consume like crazy.
Yeah.
Target is not in Canada. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, they were here for a few years and they left. And a big hello to Share Night. She has a wonderful company called Ebony Occasions that does Afrocentric greeting cards.
Oh, how nice is
that? I'm going.
Yeah. So Share, you may want to promote your greeting card company because these two ladies,
especially
and Aisha,
for Christmas cards, you know, a lot of people are sending their stuff out.
you know, so I know these three ladies would probably purchase from you, and you told me that you do, you're getting more and more customers from the United States. So I'm not saying, I'm just saying, let's get back to this gun violence thing. So, and it's funny because, you know, the midterms just finished, and the Republicans were really pushing the crime narrative.
Mm-hmm. And they're a part of the crime.
Yeah.
They're the crime.
Right in the center of everything.
It's always interesting when the dictator shows up and talks about other dictators. You know, it's like, it's always funny when the naked person shows up and talks about when everybody else not wearing clothes. It's ridiculous. They're the most disgusting creatures in this country. They have destroyed America with their lust and their love for gun and hatred and violence. And they're not much different than the people that came on the boats over here. I think that everybody in England must have been rejoicing when they sent the crazy people here. They said, go on the boat. Bye. Go. Be our guys.
Go.
Yes, go.
Just go.
You know, it's funny. We're going to update our intro because we have a new member of the family, Lala, but I don't know if we can get that. We're gonna have to get another Jill Jones quotable.
Yes,
as part of the intro, right? So we have to get, you know, because that it's gonna be hard to leave. It's hard to tell that go. Like, what's Lala gonna do in the intro when she's waiting to come on?
A part of my everyday vocabulary.
So yeah, the gun violence thing. So, well, okay, actually, let me go back. Jill and Lala, if you had a choice, 2 or 3 places to live in the world, where would you live outside of America?
Europe. I definitely live in Europe. Countryside in the UK. Okay. And I'd probably live on the outskirts of like Tunisia. There's some really nice places. It's really beautiful, very chill. You would be surprised, right? But for real.
Would you live
and maybe Costa Rica. Costa Rica is amazing. I don't want to tell too many people where I plan to go. I'm trying to see them. I do not. That's why Portugal became such a pain in the butt. All of a sudden, there were so many Americans. It was like, ooh, no, too many. Because there's a milieu, an ilk, a concept, a brain, a belief system. And you either have the really rich ones who are really like gross and full of themselves, or you just have people who, first of all, actually, I don't even know why I'm saying this. The most of the people in America who have such hate, they don't travel. But the rich ones are trying to contaminate the rest of the world. But the ones who are there carrying the stick, they can't afford to go anywhere. They don't usually go anywhere. And they don't fit in anywhere. They're awkward. You see pretend you're Canadian. Do you know how many times I've pretended to be Canadian when I see the typical American roll up somewhere?
Okay, so hold on but stop yourself right there. Because but so allegedly Canadians
nice heist over there. Nice heist.
Canadians have a reputation of being nice people. So Jill, do you put on your nice Jill?
I put on my nice Jill.
When you're going to be a Canadian? Good. Okay.
I just heard something very interesting. They had a study that there's a study that with people who get ALS, that one characteristic that they all have is being super nice. They have it on all the nurses' notes with all of these patients, kept saying, oh my God, they're super nice. Even when people came in to get tested, there were even a few nurses who said, I'm sure he doesn't have ALS because he's not very nice. There was something that they've seen in the studies. They are super nice to people, other people. And with breast cancer was another study that came out and talked about how they could almost start to determine the type of women in that category were women who are like, I got to do it by myself. I'm going to just have to do this all alone and just take care of it. And they started to see characteristics of personality traits. This is in this book called The Myth of Normal by your fellow Canadian, Gabor Mate, Dr. Gabor Mate, who is like my guru. Like, I love that man so much. I think that this book is phenomenal if you can get it. It's ridiculous. It's about relationships. And so I don't know if anyone's ever going to accuse me of ever being too nice, is what I'm saying. I don't think it pays all the way. I think with a little bit of bitter, with that little sweet, with, you know, I used to be, you can look at my old interviews and see that I was like, hi, and, you know, oh, and yeah, and
Please,
and then, yeah, and no more. Something
Okay.
changed. I got changed, right, Lala?
Yeah, you do.
Mhm.
So Lala, where would be some places if you chose and wanted to live outside of the U.S.?
Well, husband and I went to Portugal
Oh
earlier,
yeah, you
Yes.
guys had a beautiful time.
and we had a beautiful time and really met some lovely people. But we also stayed away from the big parts. Like we
Good.
visited Lisbon, that was great. We visited
Hmm.
Porto, that was great. But we really loved the Silver Coast. So if there was anywhere, it was
Wow.
so funny when
Yeah.
we came back. Our friends saw our pictures and they were like, "Oh my God, you guys look so happy." And we
You
looked
did.
back at those pictures and we were like, we kind of like it there. So if I
And
had,
the music is beautiful.
oh my
Yeah.
God, the
Fado
art,
music, I love it.
we actually went
Incredible.
to see professional Fado, and it was just, I feel music deeply. So I'm sitting there just like,
Yeah,
I'm just tears coming in my eyes. I could feel what they were saying,
love
even though
it.
I didn't know the words.
So let's get back to some comments here. Cher says, I am not an expert by any means, but looking purely at the stats compared to other countries, unfortunately, it doesn't seem like much will change.
I agree.
I agree.
know.
And Cinnamon goes, Jill, that's exactly what Fidel Castro did in the 1980s. He emptied the Cuban prisons and sent them all to the U.S.
It's
Yes.
not a novel idea. That's what people do. I mean, you know, with bands, you know, Prince did stuff like that, saying people were really good at something, so somebody else would take them, and, you know, and they were out of his hair, you know, out of his place. So everybody does it. Like, yeah, I'll hire them. They're great. That engineer sucks. You know, it's like, you know.
What needs to reverse this gun issue, in both your opinions?
Sanity, and nobody has any kind of sanity here. Everybody, like, there's no longer coming to the table to talk civilly anymore. Until we can do that, which I don't see it happening anytime soon, nothing's going to be solved. I mean, look at Uvalde, look at Texas. They just went through that mass shooting, and what do? They have it back in.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what are y'all thinking? That's like a slap in the face. So I really don't see anything until we can come back to caring for one another as human beings and being able to speak and debate sanely with one another. Because now everybody's just barking and crying and screaming and hollering. No one's listening, or no one cares.
Jill?
I think that American people have lost their humanity. I don't know if that'll come back. I just don't see it ever coming back. I think that it's really dog eat dog. And, you know, I was also seeing some horrendous stuff on Instagram from people in India. They've lost their shit too. I mean, good God, it's like worms invaded people's brains. I think that there is a culling of the spirit that's going on. Spiritually, the universe is now doing something else that COVID couldn't do. And I'm just sitting back watching the wheels go round and round, as John Lennon said, because I don't think that America can regain its humanity. I think that we are it is a cycle that it's like, now it's kind of at the point of like, you've been taken hostage by a brutal regime and you just don't know what to do but to, you know, ease into the handcuffs a little bit and know that the karma that is going to befall this nation is going to be severe, because it will fit the crimes. Trust me, the punishment that is going to come, because China has been saying some interesting things. I keep bringing them up in the last couple of shows, and they are going to be on top at this rate, because
they already are though.
But they're going to be even more, where they're really going to be controlling.
Right now,
like they will.
Yeah,
they're going to be boasting their superpower. They're going to be flexing it.
They're
like,
going to be
not
pulling
flexing
their cards. That's
Okay.
exactly
Yeah,
what's
So,
going to happen.
so,
They're going to pull their card.
so getting back
And
to the
who can
gun.
blame them? Because they couldn't have this. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, they couldn't allow this to exist without authoritarianism to come and quash it. Because the reason we are a liability to other authoritarian regimes, we are our mindset. This, we're just going to shoot them up, bang them up, whatever. They don't want that either. There's so little self-awareness in all of our communities, the Black community. I mean, it's crazy. You got Black people driving around in Teslas, which is like crazy considering the company itself is a racist, has done some horrendous things to people who have worked there. It's really kooky.
I want to bring it back in
Lack
about
of self-awareness, though, is what I feel is another problem.
I want to bring it back into the gun things because and advocates of the gun will say it's in our Constitution the right to bear a gun, arms.
Well, there's nothing wrong with if you are a responsible gun owner. Now, listen, I grew up with guns, but I also was taught respect for guns. You understand? Like, there was a reason we had guns in the house, and it wasn't to protect the house. We literally was out there hunting. I'm telling you, I've had squirrel. All right,
I've had squirrel too. I know.
And so that's where I come into can we just be sensible? You know, can we go through the guidelines of what we need to do? I know that that's stupid, and I know that's impossible to do, but and it is a right.
We have police who are too afraid to police with their guns.
Exactly.
That's another problem.
It's just out of hand. I never see it going back to where it needs to be. People, you know, anytime anybody sees their rights being taken away, then all common sense goes out the window. And that's what you're saying. You cannot see people, even you're trying to take something away from me. You can't do that. And you don't even have a common sense of saying, okay, well, what about if we put training in? What about if we put, you know, background checks? These people getting these guns have no nothing.
They don't want background checks. And even when they do, it's not really working either. The one guy who killed, I mean, really there have been 7. Every day there's a mass shooting in America. Every single day somewhere there is. But it's just a shithole. The country is, you know, it did become a self-fulfilling prophecy of Trump and all these people. They think that guns are going to protect them, and it hasn't. It's made living worse. It's made the quality of life horrible. And like I said, there's just no self-awareness with the people who live here. And I actually do feel that the only thing to quell it and to make it where it could be will be authoritarianism. To tell people where to go, get up, sit down, drink, this, that. That will be the only way.
Some people say that already quasi exists already. So
it doesn't, not enough. I think that the people, the true authoritarianism that will come in here will not want people to have guns, and they won't have them.
So here let me again, speaking the gun thing again, is there what needs to happen? Does something really catastrophic? I mean,
we've had catastrophic.
There's nothing.
We've had once your children have been killed in your country and nobody does anything about it, your people in your country have lost their humanity. Yes. And nothing. There's no sentient life here. Oh, but then they want to push that abortion stuff. That's why nobody believes their bullshit. They mowed down children like little pieces of fucking hamburger. Okay? Yes. And people don't care. Yeah. And actually, we have some sick people in America. Just go online, go on Twitter, look at them. I can't even enjoy any of it anymore. All I do is sit there and go, this motherfucker is crazy. Like, honestly, I hardly say shit anymore. It's not fun. It's like they're crazy.
Because it's affecting me deeply. Like I literally limit myself on any social media platform. And I hate to say it because they always say create content, but
we're going to get to that a bit later. So let's stay within the gun realm. So
they need to put them on a lobotomy, like give people lobotomies at this point, because there are people that, no, I really believe that will happen. I probably won't be alive to see it, but it is inevitable that that's what you're going to have to do to get rid of this fear of the fear and the guns, because it's sort of, they're like circular references. One can't exist without the other. There's no utopia here in America.
No,
none.
no.
So
I wish, in other words, Dr. Vibe, I wish I had an answer for you that we could act upon. But unfortunately, I see none. We can talk about it all day long, but until change happens, nothing is going to happen.
And Canada should ban people from coming there who are American, to be honest with you. If they know what's right, what's good for them. I know a lot of other countries are discussing different measures and deeper background searches for people going into other countries, because what we're seeing is that Americans are a liability. Their brains, they're just not as smart as the rest of a lot of people. Something's off. It's bad.
Well, it's interesting. And I think when we were on a number of years ago, your former president was so proactive of having a wall up, and a number of Canadians says, well, maybe we should build a wall between Canada and the U.S.
Absolutely should.
So point to, well, unfortunately, from this conversation, both ladies think that we're just going to keep on seeing these mass shootings.
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't even know why people have children here.
And it's interesting. I'm just thinking, a number of years ago, someone attempted to kill the president, Ronald Reagan, a Republican, and nothing's happened. Like the highest person politically in the land, and they're still.
Well, that was the beginning of something really messed up. I'll say this: we started to get a very lack of self-respect and dignity and things. Like, I think that comedians, it's great to be able to laugh, but there were people who were saying, oh yeah, Ronald Reagan almost got shot. Damn. When we start rejoicing for the loss of life, that's the beginning of the end of who you are, because these things could have been temporary placements had we kept our dignity and our integrity about things. Totally, but we didn't. We started that slippery slope. We start, and here we are now. Jokes, comedy. It's like, come on. Some things, there's no decency. People don't even know when to keep their fucking mouth shut. It's like, honestly, it's crazy.
Okay. Well, I have a funny feeling we'll be continuing this conversation, unfortunately, for a while to come. So let's hope we don't have to, but we do have to. So let's
and then
see.
These trolls, like, look at these trolls here. It's like they have nothing to do with their lives. They're losers, abject fucking failures.
Okay, so I think the trolls are going to be gone now after that. Yeah. So
thank you, Dr. Vibe.
Let's do this. So let's go to our next conversation piece. Some Democrats are floating the idea of Liz Cheney as Speaker of the United States House of Representatives.
What is wrong with you? Don't you ever forget what she is. A leopard never changes her spots. What is wrong with you? Don't you ever utter that out of your mouth again. How dare they embrace someone who's so against us? Just because she did one thing that seemed right. But now, even within the January 6th committee, they're saying she has turned it into something all about her because she lost her seat.
Yes, she did.
I don't want her in.
Hell no. It's like, go home, be a mom, get out of here. She voted against John Lewis's voting rights. It's unforgivable. Bye, bitch. I don't care what you did. Oh, you finally realized that they kicked you to the curb and the Democrats felt sorry for you. We really didn't need her in the committee, by the way, guys.
No, we did not.
We really didn't. Stop pretending that we did.
No.
She's part of.
She does not get passed for me, and she does not speak for me, and she has shown her colors. Step aside, bitch. Step aside.
It's so true. Ooh, that one is going to go on the new reel. Step aside, bitch. That one. Keep a note of that. Step aside, bitch. That was good.
Why would some Republicans want her as a representative?
They don't, right? They don't. No. Are they going to step outside the hen coop that McCarthy has set them up for? No, they're going to be towing the line just like before. See, Dems haven't figured out. There's nobody that's going to break that. And neither did Andrew Zimmerman or whatever his name was,
Nope.
Kinzinger. Nobody cares, guys. You guys are over. You're done. You're yesterday's meal. Nobody cares.
So
Nobody's going to step out.
Regina says her term ends in 2023.
Thank you.
Anyway, girl, bye.
I agree. I totally agree. You know, what's his face? Donald Trump want to be the speaker? Isn't that what we should really fear? That they do a 180 on that one? Remember? And I was like, how was that? Like they would vote him in? It was something really crazy.
That's what I'm saying. We've all lost everything. We just need to burn down. I watched Harry Potter yesterday, and I was like, look at us on the screen. Burn it down.
That would be his easiest access to the presidency, to be honest with you. It really wouldn't be running. It would be to get in there, knock Kevin McCarthy out. Somehow he becomes speaker, and then he's what, third in line to the president?
Yes,
honey, and we know how many. Mm-hmm.
They went already went after Pence talking about kill.
Jen has arrived. Hello, everyone. Hope had everyone had Thanksgiving. Hope you did also, Jen. We are doing State of Things with Aisha, Jill, and Lala. Aisha is not with us because there's a power outage where she lives. So we've got, I guess, the two troublemakers tonight out of the three that are around the run. And then we're talking about the Dems. Some Dems wanting Liz Cheney. I don't think I can see that.
No. I need to know what they're smoking because maybe I might need some. It's
so true.
That's crazy. What's wrong with you people?
I don't know why they've been like towing that along. And obviously they've been kicking the can for Liz Cheney. And I think it's wrong. That's like that bipartisan stuff. And it does not exist. I'm sorry, Joe Biden. It doesn't exist.
That shows their weakness once again.
Yeah,
what
it
do
does.
they do?
They let the wolves in the door.
Mm-hmm.
They let the wolves come in and you're a bunch of little lambs. Yeah. You know, because right now he's trying to get rid of Ilhan. And he's going to take her off of the committee. Mm-hmm. She will not be on the foreign thing committee. Although I'm like, what are they doing? I mean, basically they're going to make her, she's anti-Semitic. He's just going to, you know, they always beat up all the women in Congress anyway. But Kevin McCarthy is from a shitty little town called Bakersfield. And good God Almighty! I mean, it's the pits. It's like stinky armpits. Okay, and yet he keeps winning because I think the whole like the few that vote that aren't on fentanyl. Maybe that's how he keeps winning.
No, but she's telling the truth, Dr. Bob. That
where's the lie? They make crackheads look in like super intelligent.
Exactly. It's really scary there. It's really no joke.
Wow.
Yeah. It's all like where Cops was made. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember that.
It's like that. You want to see that? That's it. See, remember how they removed those TV shows? I wonder why. They didn't want their people to be seen that way. There's a lot of that here. Yeah. And so that's Kevin McCarthy's constituency.
Yeah.
All right. That was a quick, let's move on. I think this will be a little bit more of a conversation. The search for alternate social media platforms.
I'm trying. I have gone to 2 or 3 different ones, and either they're all the way right or all the way crazy or all the way whacked out.
Have you? This Matador? What was that one? Mastodon?
I don't know. Did I do Matador? I did something social. Not True Social. It's another one. And then I did Substack. I did Stimulus. Stimulus is actually done by Sticker Mule. I like that one.
I don't know
who's
none
Sticker
of these
Mule?
things.
Oh my God, they make the best stickers and keychains and stuff like that.
Okay.
So they created their own, and it's actually pretty balanced. And I would like that one. But there's a couple of other ones. I'm like, y'all people are too to the left. It ain't to the left, to the left. I
Yeah,
can't do it.
to the left. It's
I
too
want
much for
some
me too.
balance. I want some
Yeah.
balance, and I can't seem to find that. I think there's another one called.
And you know what? That is not to pull the Liz Cheney conversation back in, but you've got to remember this is where the Democratic Party is really kind of falling into this weird line. And then you have the progressives who are just, some of them are just too left for me. You know, it's like you're going to always split a hair over everything. It's always going to be, well, did everybody get invited? Was everybody on the roll call sheet? Is everybody going to get the $5? Can we split it with every? You know, it's like
So let me ask. It obviously we're discussing this conversation piece of what's going on with Twitter. Have either one of you had any thoughts about leaving Twitter?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why?
Yeah. Well,
it's boring.
Okay. It is very boring, but I have to say I got very disenchanted when they got rid of Periscope. Periscope, I had such a tight, beautiful.
You did. Yes, you did.
I loved it, but it got squashed, and now all of us are. My whole community of Periscopers, we're all floating in this universe. Some went to, what do you call that? Oh God, what's the other one they went to? It's not Twitter, but it's. Oh, it'll come to me. Meerkat is one. Then Meerkat disappeared. Then other people tried to step in, and all them disappeared. Twitch is what I was trying to say.
Yep.
But I don't care for Twitch. The community still doesn't feel like a community. Me personally, no one looks at my tweets. I can go on there and say, "Alamatapia." Nobody cares. So I tend to just throw out my thoughts when I need to get them out there on Twitter. But to be honest, I don't want to be around when people are calling each other names. I actually had a stalker on Periscope, and I blocked that person, and now people are getting unblocked and put back on. It makes me nervous.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, for myself, my best platform is YouTube.
Yes.
I like
that's
YouTube.
What I'm kind of focusing a little bit. I'm starting to pick up more on YouTube.
Yeah, I think, but the whole Twitter thing, I have a Twitter account because I have over 3,000 followers, allegedly.
Right. Exactly. Allegedly. Mine's going down.
But again, the amount of engagement I get on Twitter isn't a lot. But again, it's all what you're using social media for.
Yes.
And what you're wanting to get out of it. I just think it's going to be very interesting to see. Like, no one talks about Facebook anymore.
No, but I do find that Facebook is actually like old family. That now it's gotten to where, hey, you know, it actually has settled down a little. Old family, it's your family. It really is like, you know, hey, we're, you know, they did kind of clean up a lot of that bullshit with, you know, the fighting. Because even I was fighting on Facebook. Man, it was like, I was like, you know, Sonny Liston out there, you know, I was like, for a while, and it worked for a while, and it was fun. But I mean, it was crazy. I'd be walking around my house mad with somebody, and didn't even, you know, going, hell with you, you know.
Jill D. Jones, I gotta meet your husband even virtually.
Oh, he hates that part of that. Like, he will say, what? Like, he'll watch my face sometimes when I'm tweeting, because I'm sitting there and I'm going, and he goes, what's going on? What happened? And I'm like, nothing's going on.
No, my hubby and your hubby would get along just fine.
Like, I'm watching the show, and meanwhile I'm like, and then my daughter said she heard me say, hell with you, and she's like, who are you talking to? Like, I have noises are coming out now, so I guess it's okay for me to like kind of like I put a do not disturb on it at a certain point.
Yeah, me too.
And yeah, I had to start doing that. And also Twitter's becoming really boring. The trending topics are like, oh my God. I mean, obviously I'm too smart for Twitter. I actually am now like, I think I'm too intelligent.
I
Yeah.
Maybe we add that to the new intro clip. Jill saying, "I'm too smart for Twitter."
I'm too smart for Twitter.
Yeah,
It's just come down. Yeah, I think we are, because the things that people want to talk about and the politics stuff, it's fine, but you know, we're only highlighting and keep talking about people that really should be like, you don't talk about people that you want to go away. We got to stop. I got to stop it. Like,
I know.
you know, what do I want to talk about Kanye West for? Or any of them?
Have you looked on Instagram? And because I tend to be on Instagram a little bit more, even though it's still a part of Facebook. But I've noticed other people of quality to me, like Questlove, calling other people out, like, stop reporting this dude. The more you keep talking about it, the more it's going to get pushed along.
Questlove
and
has
I've
been doing
started
that.
to see that trend of people who I respect. Of saying, we're not talking about this because this doesn't need to be talked about anymore.
I think I want to be more helpful.
I'm a fan of Questlove.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing some amazing things, and it's important for us to corral the ones we love back into, like, we can't do this. You know, I try to, you know, before I would post these like shocking things because I was usually horrified and I didn't want to be horrified alone. So I was like, I'm just going to horrify everybody.
Right.
Because I guess I thought at some point I could help change it. But I've kind of sadly, I don't think I can change anybody or anything. I really feel like it's not going to change across the world. I think that, you know, one crazy thing I had this whole thing where my faith in Christianity has gotten very strange. And I started reading like about the Crusades again and things like that, and going, we are like in a feudal system. It's really interesting how it sort of is very parallel. And that didn't fare too well, y'all. That turned out real fucking bad for a good couple centuries. Okay, so it's like, so guns may not be the problem at some point, because that stuff, like, I started saying that I think the evangelicals are demons. I think they are demon energy, like really the bad, heavy, that energy. And I believe in these energies that reincarnate themselves in life. They're there. It is the same.
I want to go back into the social media stuff. So, ladies, with this social media, then what do you see yourself doing with social media? Because we're coming up to a new year. Where do you see yourself? You know, actually, it would be a good idea is to get Dr. Tachi on. I have to reach out because she is really adverse in media, tech, and pop culture. So I'm going to see if we can get her on one of our conversations before the end of the year, because she would really be able to give us some good insight of where social media is going in 2023. Because
I think it's going to be people narrowing off with their clues again, like tribal, because the reality is people are starting to see, I can sit and tweet Donald Trump all day. It's not going to change anything. These are people committing crimes. I could call Merrick Garland garbage all day. It's not changing anything. But until the government or other powers that be start getting involved, I mean, we're in a very weird cycle of energy. And I think that for me, I'm just like, this cycle's not going to go away for about a good 2 years. And then we'll get a new one. We got economic stuff that's going on, and that's going to be bad because it's just going to get worse. So I want to try to be more helpful and find different solutions. Speaking out, I want to share information, but we can't. It's like we got to find a solution. Like when I said, look into nomad visas, look into moving other places. Consider that.
Well, so Lala, you are definitely very prolific on social media. Where do you see yourself? What is your vision as you sit right now for 2023, or if you even thought about it yet?
I actually have plans that I have laid out on 2 projects that I am working on. And one is a podcast, and the other is a podcast.
Very nice. I love, that brings love to me. I love you. That's fantastic. Okay.
I'm laying out my plans for that, and it is actually going to deal with the mixed culture of the world. Because I really
Oh,
struggled with that growing up, and I want to share more stories of that on because the world is no longer, it's not black and white. The world is not black and white. The world is filled with color,
that is
and that
very,
is what I want to do. And
very,
then the second
very interesting.
is actually a YouTube series as well. So I am working on two things that I will be focusing on. One will be educating people about real estate and how to build their wealth. I don't believe in listening to other people and saying it's a bad time to buy, blah blah blah. No, it's just not
It's
your
the
time.
best. It's the best if you can do it. It's the best time to buy right now
Right. So
because
I'm into education right now.
okay. So you're going to just take a turn. You're
I
not
am.
going to draw back. You're going to turn.
Yeah, I'm turning, and also
Hmm.
there's going to be way more music in my life. That's been missing from me. And I'm really excited about starting new ventures with my husband and, getting back to the basics of writing and singing because I feel that music brings love into the world. And that is something that I want to do. I want to focus on bringing positivity from me into the world. And maybe that makes somebody else happy.
Love it.
Nice.
Love it. I think that's well. I know you're going to have at least one person I know as a guest.
Of course, she's already been on a song.
I think it's really interesting, this whole color thing, because I saw today where a lot of people don't understand that a lot of like Mexicans, they had one guy who, these Trump supporters, they as brown as they can be, and they are identifying as white, and they
Yes,
say it.
yes.
I think that's
Hispanics, Latino,
I think
whatever. It's bizarro.
you know what this is potential.
They say it. I identify as white.
So okay, parking lot that because there's something I want us to. Well, this is an alleged. I'm just gonna put something in our private room. We'll talk about after today's conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll leave it at that. It's good. You picked something that was going on in my alleged mind.
Oh, okay.
So yes, and I said alleged mind, by the way.
I know you do.
In regards to that, but
It's so funny.
I got. Oh, there's some. Oh, I just got another. Oh, I just got another idea. Ah, okay, music.
It's important that, there's so many categories now that people want to be on in this whole line
Social
of
media thing. Yeah, there's so many things. Okay, well, you know what? We will be interested to see the next steps in the whole of social. What about TikTok?
I'm not into TikTok all that much, only because with China, I'm not really sure about my information. I just honestly, it is a bit. There's something about all of them. I just see it one day erupting into a big old boil with a lot of pus in it. But it's going to be like, what the freak is going on with all of our information? I know that Twitter is having an issue at the moment where they say there's a guy who keeps coming out and saying everybody's been breached. And we know that Elon Musk is not going to be telling people about these breaches. He should, but he's actually a pretty despicable creature. He's another creature. And I also feel like, these people are just designed to destroy America. I can't believe we're here, actually, Dr. Vibe.
So
through social media now, it has been weaponized.
That's true. So people who are watching live on the replay, please make comments. We'd be interested to know what do you think about social media going forward? What are your thoughts on Twitter? We'd love to hear them, whether it's live or on the replay. And I do think, especially Cher, maybe she's not on, but she does regularly make comments on the YouTube page about the show. So thank you so much, Cher, for always offering your commentary. So yeah, family, if you don't catch us live, put the comments on the replay.
Somebody said that about the Chinese. Regina said something about China and the lockdowns. I just think that China is such a formidable opponent. And
of course they are. But
when you think about how they got rid of Puyi, I was having a conversation. I tweeted something about Puyi and how the royal family in England, and I was like, boy, those Chinese, what they did to Puyi in his life, and he was the last emperor, it was crazy. They have been doing this, and it's when the military's involved. I mean, our military and whatever is going on. See, the really crazy part is I sit back and keep going, it can't be this raggedy, all this shit that's going on. Like, what is really going on? Like, this is what we're seeing, the military falling apart, this one, that one. So what's really happening? There's just a part of me that's like, this all looks so dysfunctional. We're only seeing something very surface. And now at this point, after being kicked and prodded so much, it's starting to feel coordinated and deliberate for some other reason. And it ain't good. Y'all read the Crusades, I'm telling you, that's some craziness.
Okay. All right. We are moving on to our last conversation piece, and it's a reflection on a lady that brought a lot of joy to a lot of people's lives. Irene Cara, 80s pop star behind Fame and Flashdance, passed away today, unfortunately. What a feeling.
It broke my heart.
Yeah.
And the reason is, Irene, for me, I was a teenager. I will be 53 next February, so I'm 10 years younger than her. But at the time, I was very lost because I didn't quite fit in anywhere. I was the music kid. I wasn't the sports, the cheerleader girl. I was the fluffy kid. Also, I wasn't tiny like everybody else. And when Fame came out, her songs, and especially Out Here on My Own, that resonated with me because I didn't fit in. And at the time in Louisville, Kentucky, there was a school called the Youth Performing Arts School, and you had to audition for it. And that's the whole premise of Fame as well. And I auditioned and got in. And that's where I found my tribe. That's where I found myself. And that song and Irene means a lot to me. And by the way, guys, if I had not gotten into that school, I never would have met my husband.
Wow.
So I am tied into so much with her that I literally boohooed when I heard this morning about that, because she means a lot to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Before you speak, actually, when I posted this upcoming conversation on YouTube, back at 4:18 this afternoon Eastern time, Marcus Cole put this comment: Irene Cara died. I wonder what Prince thought of her. 280 icons dead, Olivia and Irene. Well, I know Olivia is from the 70s, but Physical was an 80s smash.
It was. It's funny because I always felt, and I think that when we went to see Flashdance, she had the lead song in that. And I know he met with Jennifer Beals to be in his movie. But I think the model for Vanity, in a really weird way, was that type of tough character who had seen a lot, knew how to work people, knew how to get ahead. Because on many levels, V was kind of like that. And she left, Canada. She was ambitious. And, those were some really interesting qualities of people that did exist around Prince and all of us, something that we did each possess. But there was also that element of being these really incredible, beautiful women. And Irene was gorgeous, but she was her tenacity and her perseverance. But let's also never forget that wasn't the first time we saw her. I remember when Barry Gordy had a screening at his house, and it was of I'm losing my mind. The Singers, the
Dream
what
Girls.
was it called? No, it wasn't Dream Girls.
Dream Girls?
It was it was they were the Singers. Oh shit, what the fuck am I? This is what getting old is like. Anyway, that's how I remember. That's what that was like, because she was just everything you wanted to be, and she succeeded. And, that was what you wanted to be. There was no other way to say it. If you could have been or done. She was in the electric company, I remember.
Yes.
And
Yes.
of course, what's
Well, okay,
happening?
now electric company. Now what?
Sparkle. Sparkle.
Yes,
It
and
was Sparkle.
Regina,
And Aaron Loves
Regina said,
Angela
yes,
was the other one.
She said, yeah, she said, loved her as Sparkle.
That's
Regina
it.
says.
And it was ridiculous because he had a screening and I saw it and I was like, oh my God, this is like the best film ever. And she was the girl that you just wanted to be. And I can't say that after I went to see Fame and I was in high school and I was in a great theater arts department and we just like, you know, I could just see myself. I sang the song out here on my own and like, you know, musical comedy. She inspired a lot of us. So today I was really crushed. I woke up and I woke my husband up and said, Irene Cara died. And he had obviously had been awake earlier and he saw, and I'm really sad about it.
Yeah.
So sad. She had such confidence. You know what I mean? It's like, and she never looked like she'd let anybody see her sweat.
Right.
So she always was like in your ear, making you feel like, get out there, you can do it.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm going to be Irene Cara when I go on this stage to audition. It was important to see that representation.
Yes.
It really was really important to have that.
That's true. That's very, very true.
We didn't have that.
Yeah, Jen says, so sad. I loved her work, the voice of my generation.
Yeah. And she was a songwriter. And I love that sometimes she'd be like, and I wrote this and I did that. And this person was fabulous. And she really had that ability of being old school, which was always thanking the people that you worked with, the crew, this one and that one, and talking about fashion people who worked on her projects and saying, because she had a podcast, which she was talking about her songs and people who worked on things. And she was always so gracious and, you know, we're just lovely. I don't know. 63 is just too young in my mind. And I know, you know, like I said, people were saying things online, you know, COVID shot and all this stuff. And then the PR person had to come on and say, please stop spreading these rumors. We're going to wait for the autopsy to see what happened.
And even when someone is transitioned, we get that stuff. So it's unfortunate.
Yeah, these days, and it's like a feeding frenzy. It really is. It's really gross. And, you know, and then I don't like that because, and the saddest part for a lot of us, people were like, this is my childhood, or these are our peers.
Yeah.
And you just start to get it's a little chilling to see and there will be more. Yeah. Sorry. Because we are so exposed to, you know, it's not like we go away and we don't have anything to inform us about somebody every day. I told y'all the social media, the question about it, it's starting to be like a graveyard walking through it every day for my generation, because I know a lot of these people. I know of them. I can't handle it. I really just don't like it. That I don't like. And if there's any reason for me to ever walk away from it, it'll be because I just can't handle hearing about another great person dying. It's a lot.
Well, let's see, got one more. Yeah, I tell you. So that is the end of today's conversation. Because we're one of the Musketeers down, we're probably a little bit shorter, but as always, ladies, thank you for taking the time to share. And I know maybe one day Jill will come in and sing. Both of you will sing Fame together. That'd be nice.
Yeah, Fame. We can have everybody sing it. You know, also, I noticed Regina saying something about Iran. And I really want to keep, you know, they're threatening to kill 15,000 of the protesters.
That's a whole other situation.
My heart breaks. And those bastards, just like, I don't know how they can live with themselves. But here's another thing. A lot of them from those regimes, their family members live in America. And it's really, you know, go on Instagram to that Danesh guy and look, you know, pay attention. Even a thought of generosity and kindness going that way changes something, because this is crazy. I mean, it's horrible. And that's why I have a problem with religion in totality. Because God cannot be as small as these people have made God to be.
On that note, we have called it another epic conversation. It's State of Things with Aisha, Jill, and Lala. Yes, Aisha's not here. Hopefully, the power will come on by next week in her locale. But some final thoughts here. And Jen says, great conversation. Oh, yes, Jen, I just hope you can come earlier because usually you're the first person in the room.
I know.
Hey, whatever, just hope you're keeping safe and doing all right. And as always, we want to say, how do we contact our musketeers? So first up, Lala.
Lala, you can catch me everywhere on social media under Realty Goddess.
Wonderful. Jill D.
There I am. Jill D. Jones at Twitter.
There I am. I like how you said that. There I am.
And Jill Jones Music at Instagram.
All right. And there me is at you can watch replays of this epic conversation of the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and the Dr. Vibe Show website. Also, if you want to contact me, these are all the alleged places you can catch me on social media. Who knows how long for, but we'll do what we can do easily. We'll do what we can do. And also, if you would like to promote your business or service on our show, please contact me at dr.vibe at the dr.vibeshow. So that is it. Another epic conversation is done. And as always, we want to close out. Oh, I want to thank everyone who's watched live on the replay. It's appreciated, not taken for granted. And let's see. Jen goes, I know I was late today. It's all right. I'm not your teacher. Relax. It's all good. So we end off with this all the time. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller to get stronger. Block assumptions, then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Remember to give yourselves grace and don't just manage your time, manage your energy. We will see you next Saturday. And again, wherever you're watching this, please feel free to make comments. I get them. I can respond to them. I share them with the I like this Musketeers. I don't know if they like it, but I like the Musketeers. I'll share them with Aisha, Jill, and Lala. All right. God bless. Peace well. Keep the faith and walk good. We'll see you next week.